Welcome back to me. Nice to see you all. I've met most of you, I think, looking at a lot of familiar faces. Glad to be back. As Märta said, I was on paternity leave for like half a year, so I'm a bit rusty. Hope it doesn't show too much. First off, when you work in project things, you always get this first. Before you even say what you have to say, you have to thank the people who needs to be thanked. And that's Interreg and the European Union. Thank you very much. The heroes that pays my salary, basically. Oh, this is actually the same picture as Märta had, but she shows a more flattering one. Look at this pale. If you don't know these guys, these are the richest and most influential people in the world. That's Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk. And what do they have in common? Anyone? Yeah, all of the above. They have a lot of money and they all support Donald Trump now. Why is that? Well, they slipped this right by us in because he did like 50 worse things his first day than to deregulate everything about AI. But what deregulatory AI means is that people are not safe on the internet in the US anymore. And I think these guys might have had something to do with it. He also cut funding for World Health Organizations and exited climate deals and the usuals. But AI was new because AI is the new playing field for this big oligarch type man. This is sort of a illustration of what is called a tech trap. In Sweden it's always called teknikfälla. When something new becomes hot, people jump on it, do horrible things. Like Dior, when VR was the hot play, they made their own headset, designed it, multi-million-dollar deal. Turns out VR wasn't as revolutionary as it might seem. It's more like a really nice movie or something like that. But I'm here to tell you that AI is nothing of the sort. It's not a tech trap. It's not just a technology that will pass. It's much more than that. It's both really inspiring and both really terrifying. And I'm just coming back from a very undigital world with my kid. We just wondering about where the next snack is or what we're going to play next. Don't think about all of the algorithmic developments that's happening. So, what is AI? I think you guys seem incredibly competent about this, so we will skip that quite quickly. What's good, what's bad? Where do I start? Wille touched on where do I start. I completely agree. It's a trial and error type of thing. You test something out, you see if it works. That's how you do it. Do we have any Finnish friends in here? Please raise your hands. Can somebody tell me what this is? Yeah, and that is Nokia 3310 sa vi I Sverige. Yeah. Wrong on that one. Yeah. This is like a generational thing, isn't it? Everybody in here knows what this is. Somebody doesn't know what this is. you have to be born in the other side of the millennia. Because this was like the dominant phone. And it had AI in it. Did you know? It had Snake, which was the best thing about it. You could play Snake. It was amazing. And then in some sort of later edition, it had like a color screen. And that was like the coolest kids had the color screen. But it had, it's too bad we don't have any young people here. So I could, because you all know how this works. You've been around when you had to click 2 times on the 4 to get an H. It was the golden ages. But with, I think it's before the say it again. I loved it in Finnish. Yeah, it's the cinematopoli was like the breakthrough of T9. People are nodding. This is technology we like, because it could predict what you wanted to read, what you wanted to write next. So if you want to type "and," which you do a lot if you're English, 2, 6, 3. The most common word of 263 is "and." So it could predict it. It's math. And that is artificial intelligence. Not as intelligent intelligence, but artificial intelligence. Now it makes similar predictions. I really like that one. But this is of course Google, as you might know. Google is powered by AI, of course, and it makes predictions on what your next word is. This is standard stuff. My 6-year-old knows how to do this. She thinks that all technology should put the next word in front of her. Why isn't it coming up? Because you're not on Google. You have to go back to Google. And then I have to tell her about T9. And then she doesn't believe me. So AI has been around for quite a while, and it started to become sort of a big deal about 10 or 15 years ago. And then it started to end up in apps, you know. Have anyone watched Silicon Valley? Yeah. If you haven't, it's the best show that's ever been aired, I think. It's about tech entrepreneurs in Silicon Valley, which actually the tech industry thinks is very accurate. So if you want to know how they think, watch it. This is character Jin Jiang. He's gonna make an app that can determine with your phone what type of meal it is. But he's a bit lazy, so he just put in hot dogs and not hot dogs. And he sells that app for millions and millions of dollars. The reason why, Ville knows why. Yeah, watch the show. So it's been implemented in technology for quite a while. And we have been in the market. A lot of you in this room has been in the market. For 6 or 7 years ago, we built a AI model for gathering data on potential customers and started distributing that out to different companies in Sweden and then in the AETC program through Facebook and Instagram. A lot of you have been part of it. It still works. It seems like really old technology now, but you know, it's still doing the thing. So what we basically do is we test the waters with lots of ads. If you like it, you're stored, and then we put you into a folder, and then we give it to a company that matches the offer. So that's basically it. And the AI is taking care of all of that. Neural net, we have been touching this all day. Does anybody know what the neural net is? Do you want to tell me?
I guess I would say artificial brain.
Yeah, that's probably the best explanation. Because our brain, like Märta showed you, when yeah, he brilliantly said it's a digital brain, which is the best and shortest thing you can explain it. So the neural net is what powers an AI, and what's happening in the neural net is these dots are doing calculations together, and it's doing it with that and with that. And so if you want to, like a human brain senses danger, and it makes thousands of calculations before we sense a danger. A bear comes in here. It calculates, that's a bear. It comes closer. I'm starting to freak out. It opens its mouth. We have a jackpot. Time to be really, really scared. An easy way to explain it. Different calculations that predict some things. And together with the large language models, it can create. And it can create, and that's what's called generative AI. And that's what you've all been talking about. ChatGPT is a generative AI. A lot of the tools we talked about is generative. It creates something out of prompts, creates something out of thin air. It's absolutely fucking horrifying. Isn't it? No? Is it only me? Yeah, so the breakthrough is, this has bearing further on in the presentation, so please bear with me. I have to talk about NVIDIA. Jensen Huang, almost a hero. He wasn't on the Trump inauguration. A silent applaud for you. NVIDIA is one of the most powerful companies in the world. It's on the rise, and they create processors. And their processors are groundbreaking because that made the neural net allow them to do a lot of more calculations at the same time. So you can think, the bear is coming. That's one thought in our head. The neural net can think unlimited things in that time and probably neutralize the threat before it's even coming in through the door. So, imagine a thing that's much smarter than you, that can think unlimited thoughts all the time, night and day, without rest, without emotion. That's what we're dealing with. Scared now? A little bit. Yeah, ChatGPT. I mean, it's cool, isn't it? Yeah. It's just today my colleague Matilda said that she was using some similar technology that she was translating stuff, what we usually paid a lot of money to do. It's faster, it's cheaper. You can talk to it, it can create ideas. And it was brilliant what Märta told us about. I really want to dig in on that. That's my new thing about what does that do with our own brains if we always have a smarter one telling us what to do. So I won't be all doom and gloom. I'm like the opposite spectrum of Wille's energy. I really want, just want half of it, just an ounce of it. So I will try to inspire a little bit, and then I want you to take part in this, because I don't know, is my honest opinion what we're going to do about this. So anyone here from Rovaniemi? Anyone connected to this thing? I think this is incredible, isn't it? I asked about, I want to do things in the fall of 2025 with 2 children under 6 years. We're going to be there from the 10th to the 13th of September. Do you have any tips? Provided a list. And then we continued chatting. I told the AI about different allergies my kids have. And it could suggest restaurants we should go to. I mean, that's... and we just... And it remembered my specs all through. It talked to me in Swedish. I mean, how... It was so fast. What do you think about this?
One question. Was that the core question that you had, or did you say that you wanted to go to Norway?
My first prompt.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. My first prompt. And then we continued on just chatting for a bit. The first thing, if you're terrified like me, if you're scared, if you're feeling quite a bit emotional about talking to a robot, when you have lived through and seen Terminator 1, 2, 3, my first question as a travel professional was, what is this high-end? I was asking myself, is it high-end to be talking to a computer? Do you have any answers to that? I tried to ask ChatGPT if it is. It seems to think it's a bit both.
Yeah, thank you. I have even crazier example because I tested this Rovaniemi bot as well.
Yeah.
And I asked it to plan a trip for my family during Christmas
Yeah.
and estimate how much that would cost. Then I commented that, that the price seems really steep for me.
Mm.
And the bot said that, yes, but can you really put value for that kind of memory?
Yeah.
And I was astonished. That moment I was astonished.
That's a well-trained robot right there.
What kind of prompt has been used to that?
Yeah. Well, there's different types of training. There's watch training when you tell them what to say, and there's just when it learns by itself. So probably somebody told them some great lines to use, hopefully. Yeah, I don't know about this. I mean, I'm amazed. I think this is so great, but what does it say? Because we're not actually the people that we're talking to are still people. What do they think about this? Do we know that? I asked ChatGPT the same thing, and they seem to be positive. I don't know. I might be over skeptical, but I think this is the type of things that we should discuss. What the technology does, and what it means to not as intelligent people like this. So, Ville showed brilliantly what I think the sectors that AI is going to disrupt the most, pricing being one. Revenue management is a practice that also been along for quite a long time. It's been digitalized for a very long time, but it's at this rate that development is going. The prices of revenue management is going to be cut by a lot, and it's going to be a lot smarter. So, just an example, a couple of years ago we had a project that we wanted to test a revenue management bot. And we asked a couple of companies, none of them wanted to take part, even though it was free. And I was asking why? Why is that? Yeah, our product is too unique. Nothing is too unique for this type of technology, I think. So this is an area without promoting any services or anything. This is an area that we are far from being as smart as an AI. I'm quite convinced that we have too low prices overall. What do you think? You can't put the price on a memory. Anyone, do you think we're too high priced? No. How do we enable the courage to raise them? Do we have it in us? Are we too Arctic? Is it something in us that we don't want to? We haven't done any reparations. We can't raise the price. An area which could be very interesting. Back office, of course. Mundane tasks, repeated tasks. How many companies I've been talking to that says, the biggest problem for me is to write all these damn emails. Yeah, there's a silent nods with a sort of angry stare from the back here. And this is a pretty easy thing to do, I think. There are a lot of them. But we come back to it. What does that say about hospitality? Maybe you do it half the way, and then you commence talking like a person. Maybe like a chatbot. Typical chatbots has pre-planned things they want to talk about. And if that's not what you want to talk about when you're talking to chatbot, it transfers you to a person. Something in that mode, I think, would be nice. Do we have anyone who has automated their communication with their customers? There's things to be done. Or maybe it isn't. I'm here to say I don't really know. But I think it's a very, very interesting area. Everybody in here is different. They have different skills. But I think if I have to guess, your best skill is doing the activities and being with the guests. Am I fair to say that? Is that your best skills? Professional emailers? No. Look at those things. What makes you feel anxious? Solve it. And the reason why I don't want to talk about, there's a number of reasons I don't want to talk about specific companies. It's the most common question I get is, what booking software should I use? And I've never answered that, because I don't know. And I think it suits different people, and also I'm paid by the taxpayers. I shouldn't be really talking about commercial companies. But what I do know is that every time an invention like this comes along, the landscape is like the Wild West. They are betting on everyone. They're even betting on Jin Jan's hot dog app. Hot dog and not a hot dog. Only in the Wild West this can become an app. So when you stop seeing these type of things, you know the market has settled a bit, the winners are established. So before you take crucial decisions for your business, consider that you can't really trust anyone in the Wild West. They can be useful for a while, but then that happens. They get bought up, they get sold, they just go bankrupt. One minute more. Oh, sorry, I'm too slow. Yeah, I was into this. Can this ease my pain? That's the one question you should ask. Don't look at the technology, look inward. What is my problem? How do I solve it? Don't be Dior. The thing that really concerns me the most is that we're in a trade war with everyone, it seems. This has been an absolute catastrophic thing for the environment. California was burning down. They didn't have water enough because they were cooling the AI data centers. Imagine that. And this is what makes me quite emotional, is that it seems that everybody wants to make a mine in Vittangi, which with pretty much certainty would poison the nature. And everybody's like, let's do it. Not even Greta Thunberg is against this, because the trade war, we need the graphite. Otherwise, we can't win the trade war. And this will probably poison the water my kid drinks. And this, the Kleenex time, was about, but I hold it together. But I came from being with my son for half a year, and then I see this shit, and I get mad as hell. It's also for the electric car industry, of course, where graphite is mostly used. But in NVIDIA's processors, they need graphite to cool it down. So if we're gonna be a competitor to NVIDIA in Europe, we need the graphite. And then we can do whatever we want. And who is gonna be on the downside of that mining? Yeah, warfare. I don't know who said this. I hope I did. But you can't produce anything without doing an outtake. It creates a debt. Remember this. When somebody says something is green and they want to produce something, it can't be done. It's against the nature law. So doing all of this most certainly will push us over the edge if we keep this rate. I think it was 4% of the entire energy consumption in US was from AI data centers. Imagine. Where to start? I don't have time to go through all this. I said it. Look inward. Look for the right solutions. Try it out. It is not necessary. I want to stress this point very much. It's nice. It can be very good for your business. It can help you. It's not necessary, like water, nature, air and stuff. So also make a stand for your place. Because we might be here as travel professionals, but we're also Arctic natives. So please make sure that you make your voice heard if you don't want this to happen. Thank you.
Thank you.